Hi everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Debbie. Today on my channel we'll be making some pineapple muffins. I'm gonna make some extras and then I'm just gonna put them in some baggies and freeze them. And then my husband can just grab a baggie out, take it to work for a snack. So hope you'll stay tuned and keep watching. The recipe will be down in the description box. And if you are new here, please hit that subscribe button. Give me that thumbs up. So let's get into making our pineapple muffins. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cream together a half a cup of butter. So I've had this stick sitting out. It's a little soft. And we're going to also put in our sugar, which is 1 cup. Oops, that's flour. The bigger one of the canisters is always supposed to be flour. I've seen that like when it has the names on it and stuff like that. And I've always used more sugar because I make a lot of Kool-Aid for my grandkids and always for my kids when they were growing up. And I just seem to use more sugar, and I put sugar in a little pour thing, you know, for my husband's coffee and things like that. So I always have to get the canisters that doesn't have the names on them because my sugar has to be the bigger one. Anyway, I'm sure you could have lived without knowing that. So next we're going to put in 2 eggs to our sugar and our butter, and then we're going to cream that together. It is so nice out today, but it's going to be very, very hot soon. We're under a heat warning next week. Like every day is going to be 95 with a heat index of possibly 110. It's not going to be good for the people working outside. Okay. So we're going to cream this together. My youngest son works outside, like totally outside, 24/7, 365 days a year. So, not 24/7, but 5 days a week, 365 days a year. And then like the whole time he's at work, it's outside. And it can get very dangerous like that. So I really worry about him. I mean, I worry about all my kids because none of my sons have an office job where they're inside of a heat and cool controlled building. Okay, so I've creamed that together. I don't want to overbeat it. So the next thing we're going to do is 3 cups of flour. And my husband, he works also at a facility, at a facility where they take care of airplanes, maintenance aircraft, service aircraft. And so that place is not always the coolest because they have to open their big hangar doors, and you know, it's not always the coolest in the summer and it's not always the warmest in the winter. When they open them big hangar doors to get the aircraft in and out, then you know, you lose all your heat and your AC, whatever, every time. So, and that's where my middle son works also. And then my oldest, he works for a cement concrete company, and his job is done a lot outside. Even though he's like the shop manager, he still, you know, has to sometimes be outside and do stuff like that. So like I said, none of them really have like a sit-down office job where it's controlled with the heat and the air. Okay, so we have our 3 cups of flour in. Let's put a tablespoon of baking powder, 1 tablespoon. I hope I have a tablespoon in here. I'm getting to the end. And then it says a pinch of baking soda. A pinch. I don't know, is that a pinch? We hope that was a pinch. And then we're going to be adding our salt, which is a half a teaspoon. So I'm just hoping everybody stays safe next week. This weather has been pretty odd. You know, we've had lots of tornadoes. We've had, but you know, the United States I've seen have lots of tornadoes in the area where I live. And just the flooding that's happening in the United States and the rain, the weather's very odd this year. So very hot, and so I don't know, but we're gonna I'm gonna flick that around in there just to kind of incorporate it together. Okay, we're going to be using a can of crushed pineapple. You really only need a pound. The 16 ounces, mine's a 20 ounce, so. But first we're going to drain it, and we're gonna save our pineapple juice. We want a cup, and if you don't get quite a cup, then we're going to add milk to have it get to a cup. Okay, I think, let's see what we have here. We have almost 3/4 cup. So we're gonna make it a cup by adding the milk. And that looks like about a cup. Looks like curdled milk. Ooh. Okay, so we have our pineapple that's been drained. Okay, so we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. Makes me happy. Oops, a little overpour. A little overpour never hurt anybody on vanilla. Okay. And then we're going to be adding our wet into here, and we're going to combine it. Actually, I'm not going to use this mixer. Let me grab a wooden spoon or a spatula. We're going to start out with the wooden spoon first. I don't like to overmix my muffin mix. It sometimes can deflate your muffins and make them kind of tough, if that makes sense. So we're just going to kind of incorporate this. Just get it to where the flour is just stirred in. Before it's all the way stirred in, I'm going to pour in my pineapple. If she wants to come out of there, she doesn't want to very good. And we're going to incorporate that. Yum. Okay, now I'm going to scrape my sides with my spatula, and I think we'll be ready to put it in our muffin cups. I'm going to use paper muffin cups in my muffin pans. You can just spray your muffin pans and use it like that if you would like. I usually always like to, unless I'm making like, say, something to eat like for a dinner roll, or if I'm making cornbread muffins, I might not put those in paper cups, but I think I'm gonna put these in paper cups. Okay, so we're gonna bring this over. I'm gonna hurry up and put some of these in here. I'm thinking this makes about 24. So that's a nice amount to Share with your family and your friends, and your coworkers, your sisters, just like I said, you can freeze them. You could probably half this recipe if you didn't want this many. But I do like freezing them. I think I told you before, I sometimes use my mini muffin pans, and I don't use wrappers with those. And I will just get some blueberry muffin mix and lemon poppy seed, maybe banana, and make a bunch of those, and then bake them and take them out and put like 6 or 8 in a little baggie and freeze them like that. My husband would take those. Okay, so let's get this all out of the way, and we will get to, I know I brought it over here, I thought. Here it is. Okay. Scoop these in here. About an ice cream scoopful. Okay, so there's 12. I might have to top some of these off because looks like I might have more than 12 here. Ooh, that one's too much. Ooh, I'm making a mess. Welcome to Debbie's Messy Kitchen. That's probably what I should have called it. I do appreciate everybody out there who sent me well wishes for the last video. I didn't have a voice, and you kind of hear it's kind of still a little bit odd sounding, but I'm doing much, much better. And I got too much in one of these because now I don't have enough for the last one. We're going to scrape it down and make it work, right? That's what I do, is make it work. Look at all that was left in the bowl. My mom always said, scrape that bowl. Look at all that stuff you're leaving in there. So I always hear the little voice in my head, scrape that bowl, Deborah. Okay. And she was always particular about making things pretty too. She was always like, clean your stuff off. It'll burn on there. Okay, I'm getting it. All right, so we're gonna put this in a 375-degree oven for about 25 minutes, and I'll meet you back here. I did want to show you, I forgot, I wanted to add a little bit. I did sprinkle a little bit of a cinnamon and sugar mixture on there too. And now we're going to pop them in the oven. And that cinnamon and sugar sprinkling on the top is just optional. It's just something I thought, I'm going to just add a little bit of that. Okay, so I'm going to clean my mess up, and I'll meet you back here whenever they're done. Okay, they just came out. Very hot, smells delicious. We're gonna let them cool, and then we will give them a taste. Look at my cute little coffee grinder I found the other day. I went shopping with my sister. Oh, I took them out just a couple minutes before. I only cooked them 20 minutes actually. So those are 20 minutes. But I found this cute little coffee bean grinder with my sister. It was at a resale shop. I had it washed up and I used it today, and it works so good. It's by Mr. Coffee. I got some coffee beans and ground them up. $4.99. And then she actually had a half off coupon. So $2.50, hey, I'm in there. So I'll be back with the taste. Okay, here we go. I smell the pineapple, and I definitely can smell the cinnamon because it's on the top. And I didn't really let these cool too much. I should let them cool more. They're sticking on the bottom of the wrapper. But you can see the steam. You see the steam? Okay, we'll eat that, definitely. Now, this one, this was like the last one I filled, so it's really tiny. Mmm. Hot. Mmm. Ooh, I got a taste of that pineapple. Now, I did use crushed. I don't know if I told you that. I used crushed pineapple. But boy, that's got a great flavor. Mm-hmm. There's a piece of that pineapple. And I think I do like that little bit of cinnamon and sugar sprinkled on the top. Just gives it a little extra. Almost reminds me of a pineapple upside down cake. So you need to try these. Let me know if you did anything different and how yours turned out. Leave me a comment. I'm not getting very many comments anymore. I'm hearing a lot from my faithful followers that I do. You know who you are. Tammy and Kathy and Bonnie. And please forgive me. I'm going to insert your name here. I know there's a couple more. And I really appreciate all the comments. No matter if you've commented before, leave me a comment. Just reach out and say hi. So until next time, take care of yourself and each other. Bye.